So we have a 1-land hand, but we do have Mishra's Bauble. We're going to want to play Swiftspear to start, so we're not really going to have the opportunity to do any tricks with the Bloodstained Mire. I'm going to keep this hand in the hopes that I manage to draw another land. We're going to gamble. Go get a Blood Crypt here. Play the Swiftspear, and then we'll play the Bauble so we can get a Prowess trigger off of it. Okay, we put a stop on their upkeep. That's when we're going to use the Bauble. We don't know what they're playing, so we don't know if we should be playing around Thoughtseize or something. Okay, so we're playing something weird. Okay, looking to draw land here. We miss. Unfortunate. We're going to bolt the bird here, and then we'll attack for 2. We really have one more turn here to potentially land our Scourge. Tarmogoyf might be a little bit better. I think that it really depends on what land we find. If we find a land. Good morning, blue collar man. How's it going? Okay, so we found our land. Nice that the Skyclave apparition took the Swiftspear instead of a Scourge. We're probably going to want to go get Overgrown Tomb with the Bloodstained Mire. And Scourge of the Skyclaves works wonders with Temur Battle Rage. Oh, that's cool to hear. So you saw the spirits and now you get to see the shadows. Hoping to avoid another Skyclave here. Okay, they play the Dreamwalker. Probably some sort of combo going on with that. But I've never seen it before, so I don't know what it would be. They're attacking with the Apparition. Oh, and then they have the Path. Okay, that makes sense. Umbral Mantle. Oh, okay. Inquisition of Kozilek is not too bad here. We can grab something out of their hand and play a Tarmogoyf. Tarmogoyf is pretty big, 6/7. Blocks a Reality Smasher if we need to. Okay, another Tarmogoyf. I'm just thinking if we attack with the Goyf and give it Temur Battle Rage, we don't quite win the game on the spot. Even if they don't block, it only does 12 damage. So we're going to play a secondary Tarmogoyf out here. And do we attack with the first Tarmogoyf? Because they could double block, and then we would only be able to kill one thing, right? But if they do double blocks, then we could Temur Battle Rage and trade up that way. Okay, we'll play the Tarmogoyf, and we'll attack next turn. We should have also just played a Death Shadow as a 1/1 there. Okay, so they found Eldrazi Temple. And we find a Wrenn and Six. So we could Wrenn and Six, get back a fetch land, and then play Temur Battle Rage. Okay, so they're just blocking like this here. They have no cards in hand, so we're Temur Battle Rage, win the game. Alright, combo kill. So we're playing against some sort of weird value deck. They got a bunch of creatures that are going to activate over and over again. Kozilek's Return, I don't know if it's going to be doing enough damage to these creatures potentially. There are some that have lower toughness, but some have toughness of 3 or 5. I think it might be barely good enough. We could play. Kolaghan's Command might be quite good as well. The Temur Battle Rage, while it worked out quite well there, we do have to be quite wary of Path to Exile. It would be very, very close, yeah. I've only made a couple small alterations. I'm playing the Agadeem's Awakening, Kozilek's Return, I think are the only big changes that I made. Oh, and I brought in an extra boil. Really not too sure what I should be bringing out here. We're going to take out two of the Inquisition Kozilek and one of the Temur Battle Rage. Bringing in the Kozilek's Return and Kolaghan's Command. Kolaghan's Command will be very good if he gets grindy, and if Kozilek's Return can kill two of their creatures for one of our cards, that seems fine. This hand is fine. It has all of our mana. Unfortunately, we don't have a fetch land yet for the Wrenn and Six, but we can start with a Thoughtseize. If they play a bird, we'll end up using the Seal of Fire to kill it. Okay, opponent is mulligan to 5 so far. Oh, Birds and Forge Tender is a problem. That's going to counter our Seal of Fire. So I think that instead we'll just play the Thoughtseize then. Okay, so they have Rest in Peace, which is going to neuter our Tarmogoyf, and they have a Skyclave Apparition. Because we're moving towards Tarmogoyf here, we're going to take the Rest in Peace. And then when they apparate the Tarmogoyf, we can use a Seal of Fire to kill one of their Forge Tenders, basically. I don't know why I haven't played my Mishra's Bauble. Why haven't I played my Bauble? That's silly. Okay, so the Thoughtseize is quite good here. We're going to be able to take that removal spell out of their hand. We know their leftover is quite good. We'll put the Seal of Fire down. Finally remember to cast the Bauble. And let's see what they're going to draw. They're drawing a Thought-Knot Seer. It'll be a little while before they can cast that. And we find Verdant Catacombs, which will go nicely with the Wrenn and Six. We'll go get Overgrown Tomb, pay the life, make a Tarmogoyf. Okay, that'll cut off their attacks. Then we can go, we can either play the Wrenn and Six and start getting value with that, or we can play, or we can put Lurrus into our hand. So we're getting Thought-Knot Seared here. We're losing the Wrenn and Six. But Tarmogoyf should keep most of the aggression at bay here. Okay, Scourge is quite nice. I think that we play Scourge over playing... Oh no, of course not. The opponent still has 20 life, so of course we don't play the Scourge. We'll put Lurrus in our hand. And just pass the turn. That would have been funny, huh, chat? Play the Scourge while the opponent's at 20 of life. Oops. They would even be able to prevent the damage from Seal of Fire. So we wouldn't be able to keep the Scourge around that way either. We could try and do that. That would get rid of one of the Forge Tenders. I'm more inclined to put the Seal of Fire right to their face so that we could potentially play a Scourge. But getting the Tarmogoyf off the top is quite nice. We could play Tarmogoyf, play Lurrus, and Mishra's Bauble. And I think that gives us the ability to attack as well. They would have to put everything in front of the Tarmogoyf in order to kill it. Okay, so now the Scourge is a 5/5. Okay, they're drawing an Arbiter. I think we're going to play the Scourge here instead of the Tarmogoyf. It has the same amount of power, but it'll get bigger. And if we draw a if we draw our one of Temur Battle Rage, it'll hit real hard. Okay, there's the Arbiter. Fatal Push will be able to get rid of one of the Forge Tenders or the Thoughtseize. They have no cards left in hand. And we find Death Shadow, another excellent threat. We could crack the Peatland to draw a card that turns on the Fatal Push. We could use Fatal Push to get rid of the Thoughtseize and just attack with our big dudes. And then play Tarmogoyf Death Shadow. Do we have enough mana to do all of that? 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're missing 1 mana to do that. We have the Seal of Fire, which will turn on the Fatal Push as well. Okay, we get a Swiftspear. We're just going to do all the things here. They have another land on top of their library, so we don't have to worry about any funny business there. We're going to attack with everything. We're just thinking about if we keep the Lurrus back here. If they double block the Lurrus, then they're taking 6, 11, 12, 13. They go to 2, we're fine with that. Okay, yeah, if you want to double block the Lurrus, that's fine. I don't think that's really something they can get away with. Okay, single block on the Lurrus. And then sacrifice it to prevent the damage from the Swiftspear. So we gain no life. Decent block from the opponent, but they're going to take a ton of damage. Alright, well that felt decent. No lands, so we're going to mulligan this. Easy decision. Okay, we have a 2-land hand here. So we're going to keep, and we'll put one of the shadows back. We'll keep 2 lands, 2 creatures. I'm thinking we're probably going to want to go get a Stomping Ground with a Verdant Catacombs. So we're going to start with the Agadeem's Awakening and cast an Inquisition. Okay, is this like the same deck as we were playing against before? We probably take the Displacer here and let them keep their land Aether Vial hand. If it had only been 1 Aether Vial, we would have taken that. Okay, we find Tarmogoyf, so that'll play. Go get the Stomping Ground. And we'll yield through the opponent's turn. We have nothing to do here. Okay, Mishra's Bauble will put an artifact into the graveyard. And after we hit them with a Tarmogoyf, we'll be able to play the Scourge. That's the plan anyway. So let's see here. They're drawing a Caves. So we'll draw another land. Fetch land off the top would be nice. Okay, we get another Death Shadow. One of the reasons I wasn't playing Death Shadow on Monday and Wednesday was because sometimes they're stuck in your hand and you just can't do anything to cast them. Okay, they gain 3 life, putting the Scourge at as a 1/1. And they have Flicker Wisp, so they're going to be able to do the Charming Prince thing again. So that will kill our Scourge. Okay, we have Lightning Bolt, so we could bolt ourselves so we can play our Death Shadows, or we can kill both of their dudes with Bolt Push. Okay, these are both instants. We're going to wait a second here, thinking that the opponent is probably going to get their Thoughtseer down this turn. So I would like to be able to respond while the trigger's on the stack, so that I can Fatal Push it. Okay, this is going to allow us to cast our Death Shadow, so we're fine with taking this damage. We'll take 5. And we get a Blood Crypt, so we can cast both of our shadows. We have nothing left in hand for the Thoughtseer to take, but they will be able to blink it in during our draw step through the Aether Vial. Our defense against that is that we got a bunch of big boys. So even if they put Thoughtseer down at instant speed, we're attacking for lethal. So they're going to have to block 1. Okay, they're just casting the Thought Seer here. So they might have a second Thought Seer for the Aether Vial. Okay, they stopped on our draw step here. They're just going to take a look at our Overgrown Tomb, get nothing out of it. Okay, so if we attack, first off, we can play the Overgrown Tomb and make our Death Shadows into 8/8s. So that means that Death Shadow plus Death Shadow is lethal, but Death Shadow plus Tarmogoyf is not. So we could play the Tomb and attack with a single Death Shadow so that they have to double block with Thought Seers to take it out. And then we'll still have 2 blockers in order to keep ourselves alive. If we attack with both Death Shadows, they only have to block 1 with the Charming Prince. And then they would have 2 Thought Seers. I would be able to block 1 with a Tarmogoyf. We're going to play a little bit defensively this turn. Oh, we should have put Lurrus in our hand there. That was definitely an error. Wasn't thinking about the cat. Okay, we get Temur Battle Rage. That's the perfect draw here. Let's go ahead and attack for the win. They have 1 card in hand here. So we were going to wait for a moment on the Battle Rage to see how the blocks worked out. But it turns out we didn't really need to. Alright, so Kolaghan's Command, we can bring that in. Kozilek's Return is going to hit actually quite a few of their creatures. So we'll bring those in as well. They're playing a Aether Vial deck, so our discard spells aren't going to be very strong. We'll keep our Thoughtseize, take out the Inquisitions. The Thoughtseize will drain us life, making it easier for the Death Shadow to go into play. We could bring in Assassin's Trophy as well. It kills a vial. It also gets rid of some of the larger threats that we could run into. Hello, Sages Gamer. How's it going? All right, all right. Okay, I think we're ready. We have a 1-land hand. This doesn't feel good to me. We are on the draw, but we don't even have a Bauble to draw an extra card, so we're going to mull. I think that a random 6 is going to be better than that. So again, we have a 1-land hand, but we have Wrenn and Six and Bauble in order to find our way out of it. So we're going to put one of the lightning bolts back. We have Dismember to work our way towards Death Shadow. And we're going to use the Mishra's Bauble fetch land trick to get a pseudo scry to try and find that land. Okay, we find Thoughtseize on top. Does that change how we want to play? Because we might want to go ahead and just Thoughtseize right away while they have cards in hand. Alright, let's play the Bauble ourselves. And we're going to look for the land, and if we don't find it, then we'll Thoughtseize them. If we do find it, we'll leave the Lightning Bolt up. Okay, Verdant Catacombs on top. So we're going to leave the fetch land as it is. Yeah, I see that Dank Shrooms and I are thinking the same thing. Okay, we get to draw our land here. And we have Lightning Bolt up for a threat if they play one. And the Aether Vial isn't going to be able to put an Arbiter into play yet. Okay, Giver of Ruins, great target for Lightning Bolt. Oh, I didn't know that. Thanks for chiming in with that. That's cool. Okay, so they have something at 1. Could have a Burton Forge Tender here. Prevent the Lightning Bolt. Okay. So that's going to save their Giver of Ruins. Still a 1-for-1 trade. Okay, Temur Battle Rage. So our options are we could Dismember the Giver of Ruins, and that might get us to Shadow. Or we could play the Wrenn and Six, so that we can guaranteed get some more lands going. I like the Dismember, get the Death Shadow into play quickly. So let's just check here. Verdant Catacomb is going to get us to 14. Dismember will get us to 10. So we can play a 3/3 Shadow. We'll go get Overgrown Tomb so we can play Wrenn and Six later if we want to. And if we get land the next turn, fetch land off the top, we could Thoughtseize into Temur Battle Rage. We would have a huge Death Shadow at that point. Okay, Eldrazi Temple, so they're going to be able to put out a Thoughtseer. Oh, that's a Skyclave Apparition, also very strong from the opponent. So we're going to be looking at Wrenn and Six, get a land, Thoughtseize them, and then next turn we can Kolaghan's Command. Okay, so they have an Archon and a Strangler. Probably want to get the Archon here. Strangler's going to have a hard time killing our creatures. And I would also be worried about the Archon. It flies, right? So that's a problem. Oh, well-timed Thoughtseize our opponent. They're going to be able to take the Kolaghan's Command out of our hand. You didn't have that last turn. Mishra's Bauble here. So we're dead. I guess we could Bauble into what? We could find a Fatal Push on top. Fatal Push the Thoughtseize. So we'll check to see what's on top here. Nurturing Peatland on top. So on the opponent's upkeep with the Mishra's Bauble track trigger on the stack, we'll fetch with Foothills, go get Basic Mountain, and hope that we shuffle a Fatal Push on top of the deck. And if we don't, we're dead. Okay, actually, I think this just kills us anyways. Because, yeah, there's 5 damage here. We're only going to have 1 removal spell. I don't think we want to change anything, though, in the sideboard, so we'll just go ahead and submit. Same 60. Alright, so we're going to be heading into Game 3 in just a minute. Game 3 of Match 2. Playing against an Eldrazi Taxes deck. So we got there Game 1, and we lost Game 2. Okay, so we don't have the mana for Wrenn and Six or Assassin's Trophy. We do have the quick Swiftspear here, so we could keep this hand speculatively, even though we can't cast 3 of the cards in our hand. Excuse me. So I'm not sure if I want to keep this one. I think we're going to go for something, try and get something better. This is worse. We have a bunch of lands. We could move towards Lurrus. We have Seal of Fire. We can Thoughtseize their early play. Get rid of an Aether Vial, for example. Hand sucks, we'll keep. Go get a Blood Crypt here, start with a Thoughtseize. Okay, so they do have the Aether Vial and a bunch of lands. We have removal for their creatures, so we're just going to get rid of the Vial here. Oh, looks like we still have a stop on the opponent's upkeep here. We'll take that off. We don't need it right now. Okay, Mishra's Bauble, so we can do a scry trick with the land and play Seal of Fire. Okay, so the opponent plays cards like Thought-Knot Seer that do take a look at our hand, but because they just don't have enough mana for that yet, we don't have to worry. Okay, Verdant Catacombs, we don't want to draw that. We'll fetch. Get Overgrown Tomb untapped in case we draw a Death Shadow at any point. Okay, there's Wrenn and Six. And Fatal Push off the top. So I think we'll just play Wrenn and Six here. And next turn we'll probably be looking at putting Lurrus into hand unless we draw something nice. Okay, here's a Rest in Peace. Okay, so our Lurrus is just going to be a 3/2 lifelinker now. We're not going to get much more value out of the Wrenn and Six either. Is what it is. Okay, Swiftspear. That's pretty nice. Can at least get some damage going here. If we find a Scourge, we can do quite a bit of damage quite quickly to bump that Scourge up. Between the Seal of Fire and Lightning Bolt. Okay, Wasteland Strangler. Plenty of things in exile because of the Rest in Peace. And this gives -3/-3. So in order to save the Swiftspear, we would have to Lightning Bolt and Fatal Push. Okay, so we spent quite a few cards there, but we saved the Swiftspear and killed their creature. We have Seal of Fire. Verdant Catacombs off the top. Come on, deck. Just those small hits over and over. 1 damage here, 1 damage there. We'll get there eventually. But we do have to worry quite a bit about what the opponent's drawing into. The Rest in Peace here was quite good. Means we're getting no more value from the Wrenn and Six. We get no value from the Lurrus. And our Tarmogoyfs are going to be 0/1s. I do believe we brought in Assassin's Trophy, so that is one possible answer to the Rest in Peace. We know they have the Apparition, but we have the answer to it in Seal of Fire. It would turn the Swiftspear into a 1/1 token, but if they want to play their Apparition out, that means that they wouldn't have it later on for a Scourge or a Death Shadow. Okay, I think our opponent has decided on something. Okay, they're playing the Tidehollow Sculler, which will take the Lurrus out of my hand. We can get the Lurrus back through Seal of Fire. Okay, we'll let this target something. Now, both of these cards, the Tidehollow Sculler and the Skyclave Apparition, have two separate triggers. So you're going to want to let them resolve before you do anything about them. Okay, we get a Death Shadow here. We'll get our 2/3 back. And we'll play this Death Shadow as well. And we have one more fetch land if we need to grow the Shadow. They have another Skyclave here. No, they have Eldrazi Displacer, which they're going to be able to blink the Apparition. And that's going to be able to get rid of my Death Shadow here. So this is an excellent combo from the opponent, and we're just drawing lands here. So I think that we're pretty much dead. They're going to be able to take a hit from the Lurrus, blink the... Well, no, they block the Lurrus with the Skyclave Apparition, and then blink the Apparition on the Death Shadow. So, yeah, we're toast. A lot of lands here, but we do have a Nurturing Peatland to draw a card. We have a quick clock here, so we're going to keep. Okay, we're going to start with a Swiftspear Mishra's Bauble, so no time for the Scry trick. And we'll use the Mishra's Bauble during the opponent's upkeep. And yeah, that's good to go. Yeah, we got channel points. We call them manas. And I guess we got an ad break now too, do we? Light Up the Stage is coming up, so we're playing against a Prowess type deck. That's one of the things that goes on when you make affiliate, I guess. Okay, lightning bolt off the top so we can kill that Swiftspear. But I think we're going to want to play the Tarmogoyf instead. Hey, handsome. 30 seconds, was that 30-second ad or 30-second delay on the chat? Okay, so we're going to play the Tarmogoyf here. Oh, wow. Handsome, thanks for the sub. Thank you very much. You're first. Oh, I'm totally zoning out on the game here, but thank you very much for the subscription. Very kind. Thank you. Okay, so that's one of the things we were worried about, Stormwing Entity, but good thing we kept that Lightning Bolt. If they're tapped out here, we might be able to snag the Stormwing Entity. There's a couple cards they could have that would save it, but this is our chance, really. Let's see if it works. Oh, we got real lucky there. It worked. All right, we're going to go ahead and Fatal Push the Swiftspear as well. Just get it out of the way. And we'll attack for a bunch of damage. Probably should have played the Nurturing Peatland there. Or maybe the Bloodstained Mire. Okay, they finally get to cast their Light Up the Stage. A pair of Lightning Bolts, that's a lot of damage. It's going to be a ton of damage next turn. Come on, what are we going to draw, deck? Fetch land. Alright, so we're doing 5-6 damage here. And no deck list on the commands yet. I'm just wondering, do we put the Lurrus into our hand here, or do we use the Nurturing Peatland to draw a card? You think Peatland, eh? Alright, let's go for it. Let's draw a card. Use the mountain so we still have access to black mana. We find Seal of Fire. Okay. So Seal of Fire adds a damage to the Swiftspear. So that's going to be 5, 6, 7. Put them to 3. And Seal of Fire puts them to 1. So they cannot use their fetch land. It's almost a bolt. Doesn't quite win. But if they use their fetch land, they die. Six, 7, 8, 9, and they don't have enough with the 2 bolts and the Swiftspear to finish me off. Next turn, get the cat. That is the plan, unless we draw something really, really great. But we just win right here. How about that? say that worked out pretty well. Okay, so the deck we're playing against actually doesn't play very many islands at all. I think they only have 2 steam vents, so we're not going to bother with Boil. $1,005%. Probably just needed to go for it, and you know, like if I was a big dummy and didn't use the shock, they had the kill. But the board I was presenting was going to win next turn, so they had to do something. Yeah, I was just playing around. So I think we're going to bring in the Assassin's Trophy, because we don't have a lot of ways to kill the Stormwing entity. We have Dismember, Trophy, and Lightning Bolt. Lightning Bolt sometimes won't work. We could bring in Kozilek's Return. It could kill quite a few of their creatures if we get it at the timing right. I don't think we want to use Veil of Summer. They don't generally use very much counter magic. And I don't really want to bring in Nihil Spellbomb only for Lava Dart. So what do we bring out here? Some of the obvious choices are the Thoughtseize, because they do us damage. Wrenn and Six isn't as good in this matchup because it doesn't actually kill any of their creatures. I think Temur Battle Rage is safe enough in this matchup that we can keep it. Okay, so we have a 2-land hand full of creatures. We're going to keep and hopefully draw some interaction off the top. Okay, Fatal Push. Fatal Push is excellent. K-Command ain't bad. That's fair. We're going to want, I think, red-green mana from our fetch for the Swiftspear and Tarmogoyf. So we'll go get Stomping Ground. And next turn we can play Tarmogoyf. We might actually play Scourge, just depending on how this turn shakes out. Okay, Storming Entity. Fatal Push doesn't hit that. We have no answer to the entity right now. The problem with Tarmogoyf right now is that it dies to Bolt currently. That's not something that happens very often. So we could play Nurturing Peatland here. That is very good value, but we're not really playing a value game here. It's going to be a very quick game, one way or the other. So the Scourge of the Skyclaves also dies to Bolt, so we're just going to play the Tarmogoyf. We played the Peatland there because we wanted to get a point of damage so that we could play the Death Shadows soon. But this Blood Moon here, that's quite the pain. Good thing we got the Tarmogoyf out when we did, and we have a basic Swamp in hand. Very lucky for us. We're still under a ton of pressure here, and that Blood Moon is going to be doing a ton of evil work. Okay, that's a dead card. Play Scourge. Next turn we can play Death Shadow. Scourge is bigger for now though. Okay, Soulscar Mage, that's a target for our Fatal Push, which will grow the Swiftspear and the Tarmogoyf. Okay, they're attacking again, so that's going to allow us to also put Death Shadow out, but we only get the choice of playing one spell. So I think we're probably going to end up pushing the Mage so we can get through damage. Okay, they have a Burst Lightning here. Maybe Lightning Bolt off the top. Mishra's Bauble ain't bad. That'll trigger the Monastery Swiftspear and grow the Tarmogoyf. Might as well target them, see what they're going to draw. Fiery Islet, so they get a land on the top. Okay, this would be the timing for Burst Lightning in order to shrink one of our creatures while the Soulscar Mage is still on the board. But we wanted to play the Fatal Push before they were able to block. Okay, so they're not going for the Burst Lightning. They had a Lightning Bolt in hand. That'll shrink the Tarmogoyf quite a bit. No Lightning Bolt off the top. Too bad. So we are still in quite a bit of trouble here. Between Manamorphose, Burst Lightning, and whatever they have left in their hand, Stormwing Entity is going to do a ton of damage. So that's already 5, 6, 7 here. And I think Sprite Dragon ends it, because they're going to get an extra 2 damage from the Sprite Dragon. So it'll be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we're dead. Close game, even through the Blood Moon. Just wondering if I want to bring, if I want the Thoughtseize over the Inquisition, because Thoughtseize hits the bird. And the bird is the problem. Okay, we're going to do that just in case. We would rather be able to hit that bird if it's an option. Even though losing 2 life to Thoughtseize is not something we're really into. We need to draw better. I think that the problem was that Blood Moon. Our draws were quite good. Okay, this is fine. We have removal for whatever they have. We have a quick clock. We'll keep. Start with a Blood Crypt. And we can use Verdant Catacombs to go get Swamp. Okay, Soulscar Mage. We can hit that with a Fatal Push and leave the Lightning Bolt for either their life total or for the bird. Okay, if we fetch Shock, we go to 14, which does not get us to Death Shadow. Okay, here's a Sprite Dragon. We're going to want to kill that, but we'll wait till our turn so we can get the Prowess trigger. Okay, they're going to hit us. That's fine. We don't mind losing life. Gets us to our Death Shadow a little bit faster. Okay, another Swiftspear. So I think we play the Blood Crypt, play the Swiftspear, Lightning Bolt, the Sprite Dragon, and we're going to be at 14 life, so we'll fetch Shock and go get something and play Death Shadow. Would have been nice to be able to go get basic Swamp with the Verdant Catacombs, but we won't be able to play the Death Shadow if we do that. So we're going to go get Overgrown Tomb instead. Sprite Dragon. Probably have a bolt for my Shadow or something. Unfortunate. Maybe I should have taken a little bit more time. We can get that back with Lurrus, but we're under quite a quick clock here from the Sprite Dragon. So no removal there, unfortunately. Just drawing lands. And that Sprite Dragon is going to be getting quite large this turn. We might even die. Okay, there's an Abrade. Kills one of our creatures, and their Sprite Dragon grows to a 3/3. They still have 3 cards left in hand. Okay, here's a light up the stage. Sprite Dragon is out of range of Lightning Bolt now. And we get another land off the top. So we can play Lurrus and play Swiftspear, but the Sprite Dragon's going to kill us. We have no more draw, so they need to have nothing, and we need to be able to connect with Lurrus. We can't even fetch here, because the Sprite Dragon would kill us. So I think we just attack with Swiftspear, play the Lurrus, and then pass. It would be really nice to get that Death Shadow out, but if we do that, we're dead. Dead on board. We need to gain life with the Lurrus. We need them to have absolutely nothing. Okay, they have something. We have a no land hand, so that's an easy mulligan. Don't have to spend any time thinking about that. Okay, we have a 2-land hand here. It does not cast Wrenn and Six, but it casts the rest of our cards. We also have a Mishra's Bauble trick. So because we can't cast the Wrenn and Six with our 2 lands, we might put that one back. Or we could put back one of our removal spells. Definitely want to keep the Tarmogoyf Mishra's Bauble. So these are the 3 cards, the Wrenn and Six, Fatal Push, and Lightning Bolt, that we're considering to put back. I think I'm actually going to probably put the Lightning Bolt back here. If we find another land, Wrenn and Six can be could be good. Okay, and this turn we can do the Mishra's Bauble land trick. So do that on the opponent's end step, I suppose. Okay, Steam Vents tapped. Doesn't tell us too much. Let's take a look at what's on top then. We have a Stomping Ground on top. That's good. These are some tricky lands. Okay, we get Seal of Fire off the top. That'll be good if they play a Goblin Electromancer. So we're going to want lands that let us cast Tarmogoyf and the Wrenn and Six. So we're going to get Overgrown Tomb here. Or we could get Blood Crypt. We already have a green source with the Stomping Ground. I'm going to play the Tarmogoyf first so we can get a clock started. And we'll play Wrenn and Six probably next turn. Oh, could you imagine that? Jeskai Ascendancy combo. It's been a little while since we played against that. And I think it was always the same person that played it. Okay, another land. So I think we'll just play the Wrenn and Six, get the Foothills back, and play a Seal of Fire. Okay, because they put their land into the graveyard, we once again don't have to worry about Bolt. If they had just left the Steam Vents untapped when we brought the land back to our hand with the Wrenn and Six, they could have bolted. Okay, so they're going to remand the Wrenn and Six here. So we can play the Verdant Catacombs, or we can play the Agadeem's Awakening. Yeah, I definitely want to get the Seal of Fire into play here. I'm just not sure if I want to sacrifice it if they are... I don't think they would be playing Storm if they're playing Hallowed Fountain, right? So yeah, we can Seal of Fire them. Get some extra damage in with a Tarmogoyf. Okay, opponent has 8 cards in hand, so... So they got a lot of things that they could be doing. You were thinking keeping the trick up? It could have been the right move, especially if we see a Magus of the Moon or something. Okay, so this is Jeskai control. They're tapped out now, so we can play the Wrenn and Six. We get a Swiftspear. Okay, so we can play Swiftspear, then Wrenn and Six. And next turn, we're probably looking at putting the cat in our hand. Oh, a Force of Negation for the Wrenn and Six. I mean, that's still a 2-for-1, right? So I'm wondering if I want to play the Agadeem's Awakening, or if I want to keep it like a spell in hand. If we manage to resolve it, it would be quite strong. And we can always play it next turn if we want to. Keep Fatal Push up. Don't think that's something we really need to be doing in this matchup, though. Okay, Lightning Bolt kills the Swiftspear. So we have creatures of 2 different casting cost. Temur Battle Rage, that's a dead card. let's just go ahead and put the cat in our hand. Kind of want to play the Awakening. I don't think it's going to be able to be resolved, and I want to get that extra mana so that I can play Lurrus into something. But we have the Mishra's Bauble. Tough decision. Okay, we're going to keep the Agadeem's Awakening. It'll be a blowout if we manage to cast it for 5 or even 6 mana. Well, I mean, we can't do anything with it now. Same with most of the cards in our hand. But if the opportunity comes up where the card is good, it could just win the game. The opponent playing Jeskai Control, though, we're definitely going to want to take Temur Battle Rage out of the deck during sideboarding. They're going to have access to Path to Exile. They're already working very hard to kill our creatures. Okay, Mystic Sanctuary. What is that putting back on top? Going for the Lightning Bolt again. Yep. Gains double strike, and if we have Ferocious, gets trample. So Lurrus double striking. Not really where we want to be, but whatever. Okay, another Wrenn and Six. Thinking that we might just play the Wrenn and Six here and try and gain value. Because, yeah, the Lurrus is just going to die if we play it. Maybe even get countered. Okay, they have the Cryptic Command. Oh, here's a Jace, so that's a problem. Don't have any answer to that. Really looking forward to putting those boils into the deck. Probably take out the Fatal Push as well. Okay, we find Scourge. So if we play the Scourge, they bounce it with Jace. If we play the Lurrus, they kill it with Lightning Helix. But we get value from the Mishra's Bauble that way. So I guess that's better than nothing. Yeah, I'm going to play the land. It would have been great to be able to get the Lurrus back, but we're just not drawing lands. And they're drawing a Snapcaster Mage off the top. Brutal. Okay, we are going to have some nice plays in Scourge and Tarmogoyf. But they already have the answer with Jace plus deck. So they could Snapcaster Cryptic Command. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep. They have 2 cards left in hand. One is a Snapcaster. I believe opponent already knows about the Scourge of the Skyclaves. I'm pretty sure they fate sealed that on top of the library a while ago to play around Lightning Bolt. Veil's looking very good. Got Veil, got Boil, got a couple good cards in the sideboard. Yeah, probably just bring in those four. Bring in the Veils, bring in the Boils. We might have more cards that we want to take out. Temur Battle Rage, Fatal Push, stuff like that. So we'll probably bring in... probably bring in Kolaghan's Command as well. Wonder how many basics they play. Could we Cleansing Wildfire for value? Probably bring in Spell Bombs as extra cards if we want. Assassin's Trophy takes care of Jace. Okay, so this is what? Cryptic Command, I guess. Then they can Jace bounce the Tarmogoyf. No, that's a remand. Okay, so they're going to remand it to our hand. Makes sense. Save the Cryptic Command in the graveyard so they can return it with the Mystic Sanctuary. Okay. Likely only a few basics, but Wildfire insulates you from Blood Moon. You think they're running Blood Moon in this deck? Maybe in the sideboard? It would be pretty risky turning off blue like that. But, you know, sometimes that card just wins, right? Okay, they have 4 cards in hand now. Okay, we get another land off the top. So once we played the Agadeem, we've just been playing a bunch of lands every turn. Okay, so they're blocking the Tarmogoyf with a Snapcaster Mage. We're going to Battle Rage. If it works, we win. Okay, they have Spell Snare. We'll go ahead and play a land and play a Scourge. Okay, they have another Cryptic Command. Just not able to resolve anything here. And they're returning the Tarmogoyf with the Jace. That's going to be able to buy them just a huge amount of time. Yeah, I don't know that we've ever gotten that close. Okay, another Temur Battle Rage. Snapcaster Mage, so they have access to Spell Snare. They're able to just counter the Tarmogoyf. Well, they only have 2 cards left in hand, but that Jace is running away with the game. So we could probably safely concede very soon. I think maybe we'll draw one more card, but I don't see us coming back from this one. Jace has been on the board for far too long. We got Spell Bombs in the sideboard. 3 spell bombs. So we'll bring some of those in. There's several cards I want to take out. Okay, just another land, we'll concede. Okay, we want to take out Temur Battle Rage. Want to take out Fatal Push. Take out Dismember. We want to bring in Boil. And Spellbomb. Definitely Veil of Summer. So we could take out Seal of Fire. And bring in Kolaghan's Command. And extra Spellbomb. Okay, I think I'm pretty happy with this. So here's a little something that I've actually never cast a Boil before. I know the card is strong, but it wasn't really running in Jund lists when I was running Jund. So it's pretty exciting. Maybe I'll finally get the opportunity to destroy a bunch of islands. Greg was telling you about an EDH deck. What's Greg building? Blue Collar Man, you and me, we're thinking the same thing. Boil Resolve would be a beautiful thing. Okay, well, it doesn't have Boil, but this seems like a really great hand, very aggressive. We can Monastery Swiftspear and then Tarmogoyf. We have Thoughtseize, so we definitely keep this. Thoughtsaiz's Oracle, what a fantastic Magic card. It has done so much. Really made the Ad Nauseam deck really good too. So I'm just wondering if I want to cast the Thoughtseize first turn so that we can put a Tarmogoyf down second turn, or if I want to just play creature into creature and play Thoughtseize on the third turn. I think Thoughtseize is going to be better later anyways. The one thing that we're really risking is whatever their 2-drop slot is. Anyway, we're going to go get a Blood Crypt here and play Monastery Swiftspear. So Greg Tower decided to just say no. No more winning with this card for you. Okay, Nihil Spellbomb's nice. I think that we are going to play the risk with playing Tarmogoyf is it's going to die to Lightning Bolt. So they could have like Lightning Helix and kill Tarmogoyf next turn if we put it into play. So for that reason, we're going to go with Thoughtseize Spellbomb so that when we cast our Tarmogoyf, it won't die. Okay, so they have a bunch of Planeswalkers and a Shark Typhoon. I think I want to get rid of Teferi here. It's going to be one of their first plays. Okay, we get a Death Shadow here. And we're at 13 life. I guess we could bolt ourselves. Anyways, we're going to play the Tarmogoyf this turn. So we'll just attack for 1 and play Tarmogoyf. Definitely considering the Lightning Bolt ourselves next turn play. The problem with that is that once again we would be making ourselves vulnerable to a Lightning Bolt or Lightning Helix. Okay, there's another Scalding Tarn, another card we knew about. Fetch land, please. No luck. Okay, we'll just attack and play Tarmogoyf. The lightning bolting ourselves is actually looking a little bit better here. It would pump our damage up by 2. The Tarmogoyf would get an instant, and the Monastery Swiftspear would get a Prowess trigger. Okay, here's a Shark Typhoon making a 1/1. We get an enchantment for the Tarmogoyf. Okay, they are going to chump the Tarmogoyf here. That makes sense. Preserve their life total. They will now have access to Jace. Okay, oh, a Madcap Experiment. So they get Empyrean. So we need a land to get the Kolaghan's command going. Land, please, deck. Thank you. So I guess we just win the game. Destroy an artifact, 2 damage to a target. Okay, their life total did change there. Okay, command doing some work there. Good thing that we brought it in. We might actually want to bring in Assassin's Trophy then, just as a second possible answer to the Platinum Empyrean. And we'll take out one of the spell bombs. So this way we have 2 cards that answer the Empyrean. Wasn't there a Simpsons gag where they go around like congratulating a bolt or something out of like a space station, I guess? That's what I'm thinking right now. The Kolaghan's command is the real hero. We're going to mull this. This isn't much better, but we can keep it. I don't really want to mulligan again, and we have 2 redraws with the baubles. And we have a peatland to redraw as well. So we'll just put the swamp back and redraw with the baubles. Okay, Death Shadow. Okay, so they're going to draw Shark Typhoon. And then we'll use the other Mishra's Bauble on their end step. Okay, so they're shuffling the Shark Typhoon away. So we're going to use this Bauble during the upkeep so that we can see what they're drawing. Okay, they're drawing an island. And we found the boil. Are you ready for this? I am so ready for boil. Okay, Cleansing Wildfire gets rid of our Blood Crypt. We're going to go get Mountain. Okay, we draw the land. Opponent has taken a point of damage, so we can actually play the Scourge as a 1/1. Okay, we can take the stop off the opponent's upkeep. Don't need that anymore. Okay, here's a Lightning Helix, so that'll kill the Scourge. But our life total is low enough now so we can play a Death Shadow. And if one is good, then two must be better. Okay, thank you. Thanks for reminding me of that. We have Lightning Bolt for ourselves if they try and kill our Death Shadows. Otherwise, we're going to be just attacking for 3 and holding up Boil. We're going to have to play around Force of Negation, which means they can counter our Boil even if their mana is tapped, if we cast Boil during our turn. We could cast it during their turn, but generally their mana is going to be untapped during their turn. Okay, so they're keeping their mana open. We'll play this Peatland, and we'll attack for 6. Okay, they have something. They're going to Path to Exile one of the Shadows. Good question. You're a sub, so I guess you can check. Go ahead and throw some of those emote in the chat. Oh, we already have the Swamp in hand. So no more basics. Okay, here's a Snapcaster Mage. So they're going to Snapcaster the Path. Do I Boil here? I probably wait till they use the Path, right? Because they'll be able to float the mana regardless. So I won't be able to stop them from using the Path to Exile. Cool. Those are the ones I got from the two-factor authentication. Okay, the opponent only has 3 cards left in hand. They're tapped out, so we're going to go ahead and Boil now and just hope they don't have the Force of Negation. Okay, we got him. Resolve the Boil. Okay, Snapcaster Mage coming in. We have a Lightning Bolt to take that off the board. Oh, Wrenn and Six. Hello. You take Snapcaster Mages off the board, don't you? Yes, you do. I hate going down to 6 here, but opponent has no red mana. So we're not too scared of Bolt Bolt. We get a Swiftspear. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana. So we can play Lurrus, Swiftspear, Mishra's Bauble, or we can play Lurrus into Scourge. I like Lurrus into Scourge. We can also get one of our lands back. Oh yeah, if we play the Scourge, it just dies. Okay, doi. So we play the Swiftspear first. Okay, they're drawing a Madcap Experiment, so no land off the top. We got another Boil off the top. How about that? They try anything, we'll boil them again. Okay, Mishra's Bauble. We'll go ahead and cast that, get the Prowess thing going. We'll take a peek and see what's on top of the opponent's library. Is that a Jace or an island? Anyway. Let's attack. And we can hold up Boil. This hand is fine. We'll keep. Oh no, we're against Tron. Okay, so we got some cards in the sideboard for this matchup. Doi. Is that my quote? Handsome playing with the MtG bot. Good going there, bud. So we're going to play the Seal of Fire. Makes the Tarmogoyf nice and big. Okay, so they're playing a Wastes. So does that mean they're Eldrazi Tron? Okay, here's a Chalice on one. That cuts out most of our hand here. But we still have access to the Tarmogoyf. Scourge of the Skyclaves. That'll be a nice second creature. So we'll go get probably Overgrown Tomb here. Yes, we'll pay the life. We'll make a Tarmogoyf. And we have Seal of Fire to grow it. And the Seal of Fire and Tarmogoyf will help us cast a Scourge next turn. Okay, here's a Matter Reshaper. So we can Seal of Fire that. Get it off the board. We're going to do it during the end step so that if they have a land or something on top, they won't get to get the value out of it this turn in the main step. But yeah, they're not going to have any 1-drops because of Chalice, so that doesn't matter. Attack with the Tarmogoyf, play the Scourge. Okay, and we have access to instants and sorceries to put them into the graveyard to make the Tarmogoyf larger. They won't get the effects in the text box, but we can throw them into the graveyard. Okay. They can take any one of these cards, I don't care. And then I'll cast a Fatal Push to grow the Tarmogoyf. Fatal Push gets countered, but Tarmogoyf becomes a 5/6. And we get Agadeem's Awakening. So we can just play that as a land, put Lurrus into our hand. I don't think that we need to lose any more life. Yeah, we could have gone down to 10 there. That was probably a mistake. Should have went down to 10. And then the Scourge would have been an 8/8. As is, we still are presenting a lethal attack here. Opponent needs to be doing something. Okay, here's a Karn. So what do they get with that? Probably something to destroy our graveyard, so the Tarmogoyf shrinks. Okay, yeah, they went and got Tormod's Crypt. So that'll shrink the Tarmogoyf quite significantly. We'll only have access to creature artifact, so we'll be a 2/3. But we can attack with the Scourge here. Okay, another Chalice. Chalice on 0. Okay, so we cannot Mishra's Bauble anymore. Oh, and we get Mishra's Bauble off the top, too. That would have been quite good. We would have been able to Lurrus double Bauble this turn, but now we get none of it. We can attack with the Scourge here. Probably have to kill Karn, because otherwise they're going to be able to go get an Ensnaring Bridge. I think they'll just throw the Thought-Knot Seer in front of the Scourge here. Yeah, so they can keep the Karn. Maybe we should have attacked with the Tarmogoyf as well to pretty much guarantee that we could get the Karn. Okay, another spell we can't cast. Trophy will be useful in game 2 for sure. Okay, they're going to be able to go get Ensnaring Bridge, which is going to make our life very difficult. I don't think that we even have any answers for Ensnaring Bridge in the main. I'm going to take a quick look here at what I'm playing. No, we have no answer to Ensnaring Bridge in the main. So that's death. Okay, we got a few things here. We got 3 Cleansing Wildfire we can bring in. Assassin's Trophy and Kolaghan's Command. What is bad? What is bad? I think we can probably keep the Thoughtseize. Inquisition is definitely the worst of the discard spells. We don't mind taking a couple of those out. Normally it would be easy to cut for Tron, but they're playing a bunch of creatures that die to Fatal Push, so maybe I want to leave some of those in. because of Thought-Knot Seers and such. They're playing a lot of creatures that die to Fatal Push. Seal of Fire I could definitely take out. I like the Temur Battle Rage. They're not going to have very many ways to interact with my creatures. They're not going to be playing like Path to Exile, for example. So Temur Battle Rage is going to be quite good in this matchup. Yeah, one of the nice things about Seal is it also turns on the Fatal Push. All as dust as possible, yep. Wrenn and Six, we could probably take some of those out. I don't think the Wrenn and Six is going to be all that hot here, so we can bring one of the Seals back in. I think I'm fine with this. Okay, we're going to run this for Game 2 of Match 5. This hand is great. It has almost everything we need. The extra push, we don't need the secondary push for sure. We need a way to cast the Death Shadow, but Cleansing Wildfire is going to give us quite a bit of time. We'll keep. Okay, Mishra's Bauble. We're going to Bauble ourselves. Let's see here. What's Mishra's Bauble is on top. That's fine. There's definitely room for flex, depending on what your meta is and how you want to interact. You could take out a Boil. You could take out one of the Wildfires. Okay, Power Plant. And a Chalice on 1. Chalice on 1 is quite a pain here. Means we cannot cast the Death Shadow. Definitely should have taken some Fatal Push out. Oh yeah, the Cleansing Wildfire is a sorcery. I keep on forgetting that. For some reason, I think it's an instant. So that was a punt. Should have played the Cleansing Wildfire on my turn. Now we're not going to have the mana to put the Lurrus into our hand. Okay, we have a Swamp on top. We don't need that. Okay, we get another land anyway. Death Shadow would be countered by the Chalice of the Void, so we just have to pass. And hope we find one of our answers to the Chalice. Oh, well, that's interesting. So we could play the Death Shadow, and then we can awaken it into play. Oh, they have another Power Plant. Brutal. Okay, another land. So we can go put the cat in our hand, and then put the Death Shadow into the graveyard. So the Awakening can bring it back. Opponent is probably thinking, haha, got him. No, that Death Shadow was planned. Oh, and they have a Blast Zone. That's too bad. That's an answer to... Oh, and a Thoughtseer, so they're going to be able to take the Awakening away if they want. Okay, yeah, they take away the Awakening, so the Death Shadow's locked in the graveyard. We do have Lurrus Mishra's Bauble now, and a Scourge. Unfortunately, opponent is at 20 life, so he cannot cast the Scourge yet. Okay, so they're going to be drawing a Thoughtseer. That would have been a reason to Bauble on their upkeep. Okay, we just get a Nurturing Peatland anyway. So no harm in that slight misplay. No blocks. They play second Thoughtseer, take our Scourge away. Okay, we get another Temur Battle Rage. Brutal. Yeah, I was saying the card was good, but we need to have creatures and stuff, threats on the board, in order for that to work. Okay, we get Swiftspear, another card we can't cast. We could Temur Battle Rage the Lurrus, give it double strike, so we can kill one of the Thoughtseers, gain some life. But this game is looking like it's pretty out of hand here. That Chalice on one was super strong from the opponent. Okay, they're just going to let us draw more cards with Lurrus. We're into that. We'll eventually find some cards that we can cast, right? There's one. Okay, we'll take a look at what's on top. We have a Death Shadow on top. We don't want that. We cannot cast it because of Chalice. So we'll go get a basic Swamp, put it into play. We could get Stomping Ground tapped, so that's fine too. Revolt triggers, yes. Chalice unfortunately keeps the Fatal Push at bay. So we got all kinds of revolting going on, but nothing to do with it. Okay, they're putting a charge counter on Blast Zone so they can kill the Tarmogoyf. Okay, we draw a Death Shadow anyways. Didn't we shuffle a Death Shadow away? Damn Moto Shuffler. You're right, handsome. And when you're right, you're right. And you're always right. Okay, here's the attack. We have to block. We have no choice. We're dead otherwise. So we'll block and Temur Battle Rage the Lurrus. Give the creature double strike, so we'll gain 6 life and kill the Thoughtseer. We do unfortunately lose the Lurrus, but Thoughtseer will draw us a card here. Get a Lightning Bolt, another card we cannot cast. K command would be the perfect draw. Come on, Monkey Paw. Gives us another Lightning Bolt. Thanks, deck. We have one more shot. One more draw to get the K command off the top. No, we have no more shot. We're dead. Alright, we're just going to have a little bit of fun here. Yeah, you're right. I'll work on that. I'll do a bit of work in Photoshop. Get some monkey paws going on. Okay, just for kicks, we're going to target the Reality Smasher with Temur Battle Rage. And then we are not going to discard a card. Just for kicks. And we'll Lightning Bolt them. And Fatal Push their Thought-Knot Seer. Lightning Bolt them. Then we'll Fatal Push the Reality Smasher. And this time we will discard a card. Oh, maybe we'll get the opportunity to even discard. Oh, we can. Cool. There we go. Played all of our cards except the Death Shadow. Anyways, that was fun. So despite the 2-3 finish, I would say this is a very strong deck.